Y'all, let's call the meeting to order. First order of business, I guess, is to welcome our guests. Does anybody have anything to say this morning? Robert? Ruben? Tony? Okay. First order of business, second order of business is swearing in our newly elected directors and doing the oath. So,
I provided your oaths to you, Mr. Spicer, Mr. Stubbs. If you could just please stand and raise your right hand and read your oath of office, please.
Please stand.
You can just.
do I have to stand up?
Well, that's okay. You can do, as long as you raise your right hand.
I'll stand up. Then I can't read it, it's too far. Okay, I, Johnny Stubbs, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Director Division Number 3 of the El Paso County Water Improvement District Number 1, and will do the best of my ability to preserve, protect, and defend the policies of the El Paso County Water Improvement District Number 1. So help me God.
Okay, I, Lorenzo Ceballos, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Director Division Number 4 of the El Paso County Water Improvement District Number 1. And I will do the best of my ability to preserve, protect, and defend the policies of the El Paso County Water Improvement District Number 1. So help me God.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations.
And we'll get Mr. Singh when he returns.
Next time.
Okay, now y'all are saying your oaths and giving
Yes.
that to Sharon. Okay. Well, actually, you gotta give
Yes.
it
Yes,
first.
I need to notarize them. Thank you.
Okay, next thing is election of officers. Floor is open for motions.
I nominate Johnny Stubbs to be president of the El Paso County Water Improvement District.
I second that one.
Okay.
Why don't we just do all the same slate of officers?
Oh,
Can you do that?
We can do that together.
okay.
Unless you want to change it.
You won't let me out of this? No. All right, let one of them make that.
Okay. You want to make a motion to retain the same officers that we've had?
I make a motion to retain the same officers as this day.
Second?
Second.
Miguel, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Took care of that. Still got a lot of enemies on the board.
Right, you're in there for life.
It ain't gonna be
Can I
long.
win that for life?
There you go. It's not getting up that easy.
Well, that ain't for long. I don't think it'd be as long as I already did it.
We said the back side, the back nine, if you're on the back nine. Yeah, I think we're all on the back nine.
Well, that'd be in the 19th.
We're not on the front nine, we're on the back nine.
Okay.
With Ford's gloves.
President, can we go to item 14 to, since Tracy's here from the city of El Paso?
We can, but we're gonna take care of number 5 right away.
Okay.
Mr. Spears says there's a little urgency involved there,
Okay.
which is the appeal on our condemnation fee. We had a special meeting, we all agreed that we should appeal based on what the commissioners did. And so Mr. Spears prepared this appeal. We need to approve his filing this today. And he has a time concern. So if you have any questions of Jim, or if you read through this deal or have any questions of on the appeal motion, now's the time to do it. It's kind of a plain vanilla deal.
Yeah.
Superintendent.
I make a motion that we follow through on this appeal.
We'll file this motion in the court. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, Miguel seconds. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. For y'all's information, if you have a chance in a minute, I'll show you what the commissioners in Brewster County, local commissioners in Brewster County did for their landowners down there. Very interesting. Okay, item 6. Minutes of May 13th, May 18th, and May 20th. Meetings and special meetings are different deals. They were in your packet. Is anybody have any additions or corrections to the minutes? With none, I would entertain a motion to approve all three sets of minutes. Larry makes the motion.
Second.
Mark seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Excuse me, now we need to go to number 14. I'm sorry, Chewy, I got tied up in already. 14.
Now roll.
I'm on the road. Okay. We need to run out of gas before we get there. We've had that problem here recently. Okay.
Okay. We had received an application from City Parks and Recreation. There's a little park known as Jack Quarles Park in the Upper Valley off of Frontera next to our Montoya Drain. And it was irrigable land, and the water rights were transferred out of that section of land back in, when was it, Sonia? 1973. And anyway, we did get an application. They filed their application fee, and they have also met all the requirements that Rose talked to Tracy about on bringing the check in for the back taxes. And it's a, Sonia, what size is a park?
2.38 acres.
And Jay's done the study on it. Robert, it does have a turnout where it can receive irrigation water. So we were going to ask the board to consider bringing it in. We've got enough acreage to bring in this piece of property and make it irrigable land again.
Does this do anything for any of the contracts that we've had about as far as the limits on the city owning land, the 3,000 acres?
No,
Great
it's
question.
really, it's a city park already. Our contract, I believe, is with PSB and.
So it's all right, it's not anything new.
Right.
Okay, so it's all right. Okay.
Well, it's tax exempt. It's been tax exempt, it'll continue to be tax exempt.
Right. They're just trying to get it officially into the district. Okay. Well, that doesn't change it.
Well, we're just trying to get,
Just get water.
get
Get the
irrigation
water,
water.
okay.
So what they'll do is just like all the exempt organizations, they have to do a contract with us on a yearly basis to get the water.
Get the water.
Just classifying as irrigable, they'll get the water,
All right.
because they're tax
It
exempt.
sure doesn't when there isn't any.
Where's where's Robert?
Mr. President, I'm not too familiar with this job, but it's everything accessible near the water, the turnout and everything. I mean, the infrastructure's gonna have to be built by the
The
city or?
property abuts the Montoya main lateral, it's right
It's right
adjacent
there,
to it.
and it needs to be
And
done.
they've actually requested for installation on a new turnout. So it's a little bit downstream, a little larger size, so it'll be right in the middle of the park, you don't have to grade anything.
Okay, so any maintenance, whatever is required to get water to there is strictly the city's responsibility?
Once
to what
it leaves the
extent?
turnout, once it leaves the turnout in our canal, the canal is adjacent, right, I mean, the turnout comes out to the bank, and it puts it to the park. Water's been running through there, along the Montoya main, obviously the Montoya main is property of the district, so we maintain that, but once it leaves the turnout, it's gonna be the city of El Paso. I mean, and it's a maintained park right now.
And you're good with that? You'll do whatever is required to do it after the turnout, right?
Oh, yes, we're going to take advantage of the offer, I think, from the district to install the turnout. And then we'll put in the conveyance system to distribute the water through the park. I just wanted to take an opportunity to mention as well that we've been approached by the Zach White Neighborhood Association to do this. They're the ones who help support the idea of the Jack Quarles Park. And they approached us with the idea of putting in flood irrigation to take advantage of the natural Bermuda that's in the area and establish grass in the area, because right now it's just bare dirt for most of the year. We're also have a backup plan that we're developing for down the road where we'll put in a supplemental irrigation system. But that's for the future. Right now, we want to try and take advantage of this opportunity to work with the district and get some water for that side.
That's great. It's great that you guys are doing it, stepping up and taking the lead on this, especially for the neighborhood associations that.
So is the park just south of Frontera?
It's up there, the screen. Yes, all right. So this is Southern Park right here. Southern Park, this is the Montoya Main right here. So the park is frontage, all this is adjacent to the Montoya Main, so there'll be a turnout. There's a turnout right here in the corner. So we're gonna install a new one right here and water the park linearly in this direction, all this.
What you see there are trees that are there now that are on a drip irrigation system. The plan would be to flood irrigate and then we can have some grass there.
I'd like to see the before and after.
Yeah.
Next year, I'd like to take an aerial and see how there's a difference there.
Certainly.
Jay, is the park then going to be in Division 6A or 6B?
Yes. Six,
Which one?
6B.
6 feet.
Okay.
So it'll be in New Mexico, right?
No, it's Texas.
Right on the border.
Well, see, that's a very complicated area.
Yeah.
Montoya
Well, I'm just looking
goes
where
back and forth.
where the line went.
Oh, the city will pass, yeah.
The city looked like the line went right through the middle of the park.
Right.
The fence line there to the south is the border.
Yeah, right.
And it runs right into Frontera Drive, and the city's currently building that linear park alongside, not on our property, on the Montoya Drain, on Riverbend. So it's going to be a nice attachment to that.
Yeah, the city's building that. Actually, the park is pretty much, they already put a 10-foot path right here along Riverbend. So this Jack Quarles ends up here, and there'll be a continuation to this piece right here. The city of El Paso has made a linear park all along parallel to Riverbend Road, all the way just about to Sunset. With a 10-foot wide jogging trail and path with asphalt, put trees on both sides, and landscape, so it'll be a long continuation of this Jack World.
I move that we approve as recommended by.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And do I hear a second to the motion? Larry seconds. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, same sign. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, commissioners, appreciate your support. Have a good meeting.
Thank you.
Okay. Mary? You're on.
Other investment report, our checking account balance is at 1.4 million. We did just receive the quarterly payments, 2 quarterly payments for PSD. That's 1.3 million that went into the bank this week.
Which one? Your bank?
Estamos en-
Right. The districts.
So that's why that general fund is so high. Is that what you just said, Mary?
No,
1.3?
for me, it's low at 1.4. So we have the additional funds of the 1.3 received from El Paso Water. That has been deposited this week.
And we're keeping that fund at that amount, so we've got the mowers coming, the new mowers coming in, and our dump trucks that Mary still hasn't paid
Still
off.
pending, correct.
Right.
The next report is the cash flow budget. I provided 2 sheets that will correct the expense side, which is the capital purchases. There was not an amount prior. The new amount is $728,353. And the last page would just include the final numbers after this adjustment. And it's explained for the revenue revenue. We are midway through what we proposed as a budget. We do have the joint maintenance coming in, as well as the 1.3 that was just deposited this week. And we do have one more quarterly payment that will take an effect by this fiscal year of an additional $657,000. So that would put us close to the proposed budget for the revenue side.
Okay, real quickly, say that again, on 4250 is where we're talking about, right? 4250 is where you're talking about the budget that came in?
40251?
Oh, yeah, that'll work too. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's where we're talking about, all right. Okay, and the only other thing I see, Mary, was the line right above there, the 4210, we're quite a bit below that estimate. Is there anything going on there? Those are all licensing fees.
Those are licensees. We do have an invoice that will be going out for the 600,000, about 600,000 that we do have annually billing on the, was it the Texas Gas? The Union, I'm sorry, the Roadrunner.
Roadrunner gas.
Right.
So in other words, that number, the 890 on the right side still looks pretty good.
Yes.
Okay. 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 You're right, that explains a lot of it. I didn't see anything else really. Congratulate y'all on your expenses, you're doing pretty well, on a tight, still a tight budget there.
Thank you. On the balance sheet, I did go up and made that correction for the structure water. And we do have those final numbers and they're as proposed by the audit.
Let me see that. Where are we?
Balance sheet,
And,
it's right after the cash flow budget report.
7A. At the end of 7A, fourth time.
You said you're gonna take the $8 million and do what with it, leave it there, or take it out?
Excuse me,
You're gonna do what with the $8 million in cash?
$8 million.
Is it, or is it, I'm sorry,
She's talking about the balance sheet.
balance
I think
sheet?
she's talking right here about the, yes,
I'm looking at the wrong, I'm looking at the total. Never mind.
Page 2 on the balance sheet.
fixed assets.
Fixed assets.
Okay, I don't understand you. What's wrong?
This was per agreement with the board and the auditors, the structure water, we were gonna leave in order to comply with the auditing standards, to go ahead and leave the amount past a certain year. I believe it was 2001, was that it?
I think so,
2000?
yes.
And those numbers were gonna stay in the books.
That's just wrong. Just totally wrong. The problem is you've got to distinguish the structure that you have some real valuation information in the irrigation structure that you don't have.
This is just an internal report from QuickBooks on the balance sheet, but on our auditing report, it does state, per your request, all of the information in regards to the structured water and the value of it.
What you're saying on the monthly balance sheet, it doesn't show that, but it does on,
Yes.
it just seems to me that if it's not consistent, you just need to have some kind of a footnote or something.
I could include, if you like, on a monthly basis on this report at the end of the page, a little footnote
Put the same footnote that you do it.
That's what, yeah, no, I think that'd be great. Thanks.
Because I think we've, after 3 years, we thought we had all this solved, so that footnote maybe we'll stop putting up. Okay. $500 check report.
Mary, I have one question on page 2 of 4, right in the middle there, number 43, 429. What is a scatter pack, or maybe, Julie, what is a scatter pack?
A SCADA pack is,
Scatter.
yes, they're the control boxes for our gates, automated gates that we've,
That's what they call them, a scatter.
SCADA packs, yes. And they're, actually, Al, we order the parts and then Al puts the SCADA packs together for us to control those gates.
So there's scatter flare packs.
That's supervisory control and dash.
Sounds pretty
Okay.
impressive, huh?
Well, I think we need to put your name on it, this. Scatter flare pack.
This goes way back to World War II.
So want a patent and then we'll have to pay more.
Oh, never mind.
Have to buy him a new set of tools or something.
Get him that boom, right?
Yeah, crane.
The crane. Get him that crane.
We're still working on it.
There we go.
Well, the well casings, that was part of the maintenance thing?
The well casings are the ones you all approved for us to look at, maybe relocating 10 of those wells that were failing, that were low producers, had been high producers and had dropped a lot. And so far we've done one and they're working on the second one right now.
What was have you had a chance to bump the one you've done?
Yes, and
And what is it?
it's pumping real well. It's located right there, pumps directly into where, just above the partidor,
Wow.
and it came out real well.
And is it pretty close to the one that failed?
No, actually, this is totally a new one. Remember, we used to have one right across from the one we installed at the Rio Bosque when we did all that upgrade to the partidor and so on. We had to remove that well because it was right on the bank.
Okay.
So we've
You went
relocated
to
it.
a place you thought was pretty good and you were right.
Yes,
Okay.
Used to,
it's working well.
The U.S. Bureau of Reclamations, that $37,340. Is that consistent with our previous year's amount?
Yes, and I believe that it's been low this last
We've-
year or two.
Has it?
Yes.
Right, every year we've been able to negotiate with them and drop it down. I think last year we saved $62,000.
Is that part of the maintenance of the dam?
Yes.
It's the whole system.
Yes,
The whole
Bureau
system?
still.
Okay.
And let me tell you, you're gonna see some complex accounting to get there. Typical government deal, I'm telling you.
Not bad.
Any other questions or comments on any?
Just wanted to point out, check number 43459 on 3 of 4. We've finally connected to the sewer line, so we're off our septic here at the yard and we connected to the
Congrats.
sewer.
All right. How's that coming on? The Lower Valley County coming?
Lower Valley and Jay and I had a meeting and I approached Jay Alayan on it and I said, we've been waiting on our application, have heard nothing for the last year. So he said, I'll put it on a fast track, and he did.
Is that the new manager? out there?
Yes.
Many one time a year, I guess.
That's good. Now we don't have to worry about backing up or all that
Oh, no,
stuff.
yeah, now you do have to worry about it.
Oh, no. Careful what you wish for, now you got it. Good. Glad to hear it.
Okay, any other questions or comments from anyone? Let the record show we reviewed all that mayor's information. Tony, you're gonna do roads this morning?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're on.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have one adjustment for May. This was a property sold last year in June 2nd, 2015. It was on a tax sale, and it was transferred to the city of El Paso as a trustee. We needed to adjust the penalty and interest charges to reflect June 2015 amounts for tax years 2007 through 2014. And there was a part 2 to it. We weren't notified that there was no bid, so we accrued the taxes for 2015. They were assessed. And then the property was transferred to the city of El Paso trustee, therefore we did not accrue additional penalty and interest charges. But we need to remove the 2015 tax assessment, water allotment, accounting service charge, and penalty and interest charges. Because now it is under the city of El Paso trustee. It was a 2-part. There's no bid, and then we didn't get notification that it was transferred over to the city.
Do I hear a motion to approve that adjustment?
Take it.
Okay, Larry makes a motion, Art seconds, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
And then we have the PSB assignments, Public Service Board assignments. To date, we have 1,314 leases. We collected 131,400. And delinquent taxes, we collected $29,229.45. PSB. We have Lower Valley, which we've only had 324 leases with processing fees of $32,400.
Just give me 1 second, so I need to get someone. Have you ever talked to that new guy up there out in Lower Valley about that?
Yes, in fact, we have a follow-up meeting. As soon as Rose returns from vacation, we're going to meet with him.
Because it's in their best interest to do it, and if it just make it, look what the public service does.
Right, and I've asked John Baloo to attend that meeting with us, so that we can
Perfect, okay, sure.
try and work something out.
We've also contacted Cynthia Osborne, the new consul at PSB, and we're talking to her to see if they would pick up delinquent taxes for Lower Valley as well. So that's in the process. So we're working on that.
Question,
Yes,
you
sir.
say she's an attorney?
Yes, she's a new legal counsel at PSB.
Yes, Lupe has retired and moved to Austin.
Okay.
So is she related to Judge Osborne? Do you know?
I don't know.
She was
She
the
was-
attorney
yeah,
for
she
the last
was-
couple of years.
She came from the city attorney's office also.
And we have the comparison on our taxes. We are at 97.84384%. We're doing pretty good. For Mr. Dunn, you had a question for Rose last month, about if we had any prior years on the comparison.
Yes.
She did go through the minutes of the previous board, and she couldn't recall anything, she couldn't find anything. She found something in 2001, and it's attached. But she added for you on the bottom, since we started the report, 2011 through 13 now.
Okay.
So we could go back to then and see the comparison through the years.
Thank you.
We have our tax suits. We have 175, 8 are non-suited, and 69 are paid in full. I'm pushing along on that. And then last month, the tax office did do a small callback on the small tracts that irrigate, and we collected $2,000.58. So we did pretty good on that, calling the small tracts and asking if they wanted to irrigate.
You guys always do good.
We do. We try. Thank you.
Any other questions of Sonia? Randy, anything? Okay, thank you, Sonia.
Thank you.
She didn't even get nervous.
I know, well, I did inside.
This kind of looks like Inquisition up there, I don't blame her. Okay, General Manager.
Okay, on item A, Wasteway 18, I attached a letter we received from the State Engineer of New Mexico giving us notice that he dropped his issue with EBID on that Wasteway 18. And he included in that letter that
I saw that.
by no way does that mean that he agrees with the operating agreement, but that for the time being, that matter was dropped and became moot. So I guess EBID is going to drop their lawsuit since he did.
Yeah, they're suing each other up there.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And then I don't, Al, did you want the board to take any action as far as the recommended changes on the operating manual?
No, that was already approved at a previous meeting, and they haven't, he hasn't submitted any additional changes.
Okay,
I anticipate they will submit some additional changes, but they haven't at this time.
all right.
So they're gonna go ahead and do that.
Yeah, there's nothing, no
Yes.
action necessary by the board.
No, I know that, I was just wondering if they are gonna go ahead and pursue it, right? Or do it.
Yes, they're in the process. They were waiting, I guess USBR was waiting also because that was partial grant money that Gary had obtained for EBID.
They had already built the pumping plant's been operational for 3 months.
Oh, really?
But they were
Well, I'm
gonna
glad
do
they
something
don't-
to the channel or something?
That's the environmental part of it, but the diversion into the canal has been operational for a long time.
Well, let me just make this comment. Elephant Butte and its attorneys are determined that Engineer Tom Lane has no right to interfere with operations of EBID as a part of the Rio Grande Reclamation Project. And I agree with EBID, Lane's out of place, and he's never going to stick his nose into the operating agreement on the basis that he's a state engineer.
I think everybody's in agreement on that. I mean, everybody on this side of the deal. It's just one further reach into.
Well, see, work is ongoing by the Bureau on the environmental impact statement on the operating agreement, which ties into the suit in Albuquerque on the operating agreement.
How far along are we on that? Al, do you
Well,
know? Are you following it? Are you following it, Jim?
Yeah, I'm sure Al is, and I am.
Whoever's, where are we on it?
The lady that was about to finish it, who was brilliant, Ray Grimm, retired. And so there's a new lady working on it in Salt Lake, and it's like she's having to come up to speed in understanding the whole situation.
Where are we in the process? It's public comment time or where? I mean, it's.
The public comment period has been extended at the request of the state of New Mexico, but so far everything's favorable. It makes me a little bit nervous that we've had a very long public comment period. And Albuquerque approved, I think, a 60-day extension.
Which ends when?
I have to check the date, but in about 45 days,
From
50
now?
to 45 days.
And since sometime in August, like August 18th.
That was the purpose for all those meetings that they were having, I guess, to shop for something to complain about.
I think part of it was, obviously, I've been concerned that finding the significant impact should have been issued already, and that leaving it open longer just gives, more chance. But everything, so far, everything's very favorable. There's been very limited comments regarding environmental issues.
Well, I asked the lady working now to take notice of our pleadings in the Albuquerque case because we have an extensive section on NEPA and NEPA requirements. And she hasn't called me on it. What the problem is, the operating agreement affects the division of water below Elephant Butte, but what the service is hung up on is the effect on so-called endangered species above Elephant Butte.
Been in the process for about, what, 5 years now, 6 years?
At least.
Yeah, it's been about 5 years now.
It's been a long time. Whatever, it is what it is. Okay.
Okay. Item B, I was going to request that we move the July board meeting, instead of having it on the 8th of July, that we move it to the 15th, if the board doesn't have a problem with it. We have that holiday in right there, and I was going to take that week off of the 4th.
You're gonna go chase fish again.
Actually, I was going to go to a wedding in Los Angeles. I don't know if I want to go after that earthquake this morning.
I don't know if it's still there,
Yeah,
in the building.
I don't have any problem with it. Does anybody else have any problem with it?
I think that's all right for me too.
Friday,
The 15th of July.
I've got a cousin that's marrying a federal judge there in LA.
All right. Maybe we'll go before and
And then item C, Tom Beer, the chairman that had been the chairman of the Far West Texas Water Planning Group, gave us notice that he was not seeking re-election on his position. So this was about 3 months ago. So during this time, I've been contacted by several of the members of the Water Planning Group, and they asked me to consider running for the position, of which I did. And this last week, I went to the Alpine meeting and I was elected. I didn't
That's
have
great,
any
that's
opposition.
great. I mean, that, you know, Tom, in spite of Tom, he did a pretty dang good job
Yes.
in controlling that deal over the years and protecting all us folks out in the country's water rights. But I'm real pleased to hear that. My son Andy got a call. Somebody in Alpine wanted to know about this tree race.
Oh, really?
And Andy gave him my phone number, but I've never heard from him, so. Anyway, so that, congratulations.
Well,
Sue.
thank you.
You know, really, that deal there is, it started a long time ago. We participated in the initial plan, which was the most important part of it. Now they just adjust according to new needs, and all that amounts to is you have to get approval by that group to be able to do any water projects and get any state money
Funding.
from the Texas Water Development Board. So they have to approve it first, and it's been really good. At first I had my doubts that it was going anywhere. That's a long time ago, and we had some really interesting meetings at the first part of it. But congratulations, and it's great that
What area does it cover?
It covers El Paso County, Hudspeth County, Culberson County, Brewster, and Jeff Davis.
Presidio, yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's a big area. Yeah. What is there, 13 different districts or something like that in the
Yes.
state, and this is the far west of Texas. Yeah, it started a long time ago.
Yes. Johnny was the original member. When I became your general manager, Johnny started taking me to the meetings, and then he said, okay, it's all yours.
Here's, see what happened, you got elected president.
But I think what's real important, just so the board will know, the other members, is that you work very closely with the Texas Water Development Board. Of course, they're the ones that control the funding, so hopefully that'll help us not only for our district, but for our area, for the region.
Yeah, it's really, like I say, it's always, because in most situations, the rural people don't have as big a voice as the urban people, and that's kind of what it started out against rural to start with, but then it got down where everybody was cooperating real good. But it's always good that somebody with the interest of ag in the local areas, Stewie does, to make sure that everything, because it can get one-sided.
Right.
The chairman has a big part in how everything goes, or, you know, what you do, so.
And then along with that,
Congratulations.
thank you, along with that, there's 3 meetings scheduled already by the Senate Committee on Ag that's looking into possibilities of maybe some changes on the way they fund. So the first one is June 20th. I've already been contacted by Senator Rodriguez's office. In fact, I ran into him last night and we had a good conversation. And I'm submitting some questions that he requested for that hearing. And then on July 25th, they're having another hearing on the possibilities of changing, and there's some strong issues going on in the state, like ownership of water, production of water, transfers and surface water, and groundwater.
Nothing new and nothing will ever be resolved.
Right. And then there's another hearing on August 15th. So anyway, there's some good hearings coming up that we need to stay on top of.
Yeah. Okay, is that it?
That's it for mine, yes.
Okay, district engineer?
Well, I've got good news too. The watershed's been extremely productive. The allocation committee delayed the allocation to June 20th, taking advantage of some of the flood waters that are coming into Elfin Butte. Now, my initial estimate is that we're going to increase our allocation by maybe as much as 50,000 acre feet. That's to be split between the districts, but possibility by the 20th that it will be even larger than that. So if we want to have a special meeting, or we can wait till the July meeting, it looks like we'll be able to increase our allocation and extend our season. I don't see any trouble right now with we're almost on budget, slightly off budget. We won't be able to extend the season out to September. Basically 30 additional days, and as I said, the increase in allocation will be at least 6 inches and maybe as much as a foot.
Wow. Is there any need, Robert, to do it earlier than the meeting?
Today.
I don't think it's
People already out of water?
We might need to call a special meeting, maybe next week after the 20th, when the allocation committee will meet.
Because we can't do it this morning.
Right.
Yeah, and we won't be able to issue the allocation to it. The goal, the water came in late. Really, the last 10 days is the most significant. We weren't able to get enough water to the charges, the allocation charges are being calculated right now too. So everything happened too quickly, so we delayed the allocation. We had enough time to make sure that EBID is critical for EBID. Get as much water as they can and get the accurate numbers on the diversion ratio so they can increase their allocation and schedule theirs, because they always shut off before us. So I agreed to that, and we'll be ready if we can meet on the 23rd or 22nd or something like that.
Why is it you can't do it this morning? I think it's included in the agenda.
Because they don't have it solidified, the data, you know.
Right.
They're working on
It
to
has
make
to-
sure their calculations are
Yeah,
correct.
and they've got to approve it through the allocation committee.
Right, and the water's coming in right now. Some of the waters, we won't even have water, the complete runoff from the flood event until 10 days from now.
Okay, so your target date is the 23rd or 21st?
23rd, I've got a hearing on the 22nd. I have to check the time. I could do it the afternoon. I don't think it'll take more than 15 or 20 minutes.
Can we do it? Let's see, I'm not gonna be here on the 23rd.
You won't?
No,
That's a Saturday.
I won't be here all that week.
Oh, no.
Thursday.
We could do it on the 27th. Would that work for you, Robert?
Well, you can do it anytime. I don't have to be here for that. I don't think there'll be any no votes about that.
My main concern, Chewy, is that I was just trying to put out the response track schedule,
Right.
and we're on our third one. We're going to start our fourth one next week. By the time this one comes out, the fourth will be out, and I hate to send out two schedules out
Okay.
instead of just one. But And if we're gonna have more than, like Al says, 12 inches, then we gotta schedule more than 8 watering for the small tracks.
But it's not gonna change the current schedules that we have right now, it's just
No.
gonna extend.
No,
it
it just
at the end
No,
of
we're,
the-
right now, we're looking at July, August, and September.
Gotcha.
And we can schedule the 8 with no problem, provided you got like 38 inches, but if Al was saying, you know, possibility of 12, then you're looking at 9. And that's the one that's really gonna be hard, because there's gonna be room, but you gotta do it like now to schedule all the 9 in there.
And I don't know that we, really the way the schedule's going, that we'll really need to add that 9th and maybe save it for next year.
It's up to, but the 8's very doable.
Okay, so the week of the 20th is what is the target date?
Yes, that's when the allocation committee's meeting.
Yeah, we're meeting the afternoon of the 20th, and if, you know, I think there usually are some additional calculations or clarifications, so I wouldn't imagine the actual allocation will be approved to the morning of the 21st. We could do it the afternoon of the 21st or anytime that week. I don't, like I said, or you
Well,
can do what you did last time, was you gave general manager the authority to make the allocation based on the information I'm presenting right now and what actually is calculated on the 20th.
Let's do that.